Welcome everyone to tonight's lovely events. Our lovely cast and crew here. We'll go around and see what's happening in their different worlds and kick things off. So to start with, start over on the top left and go down and around counterclockwise like we seem to do often. Mute. What's going on in your place? Or Wicked. You know, crossing the streams.
Give me just a second. Why don't we actually start with Plaid, just because...
That's
give
fine.
Me a second. That's fine.
Plaid, anything going on in your world?
Life sucks. No. Last couple of weeks, my wife lost her mom. We found the same day we found out we're having a boy. So the week's been
Up and down.
pretty, yeah. But other than that, I have I'm gonna be in a charity game this Saturday.
Yay! Woohoo! And there's much rejoicing.
I think it's called Craft Beer Con.
Cool.
They're raising money to support. Let me see if I can remember right. After school programs to play like D&D and stuff.
Nice.
So.
Well, cool. Congrats on that. Congrats on the good thing in life. And, yeah, hope that it continues to get better. Raven. Nevermore.
Not much is going on with me. Wife and I were babysitting our 4 nibblings and their 3 dogs, so that's 5 dogs we have, and for 2 weeks. And it's only the second full day today, so and we already want to go home. No, they're great kids. They're just a handful sometimes, and that's about it.
Well, there you go. That's a lot of nurglings. So, we'll head over to the Mr. Jarl of Goats. How are all the goats doing in the petting zoo?
They are doing well. It has been a crazy week. Medieval Dynasty's been popping off. Awesome, because I love that game. I've been blessed with some pretty sizable raids that have made the channel a lot more active than I can keep up with. And it's made me sit here and wonder, did I do the right thing? But it's been nutty. Work, of course, we're in our busiest season, so I'm going full steam on that and then turning around trying to keep up with streaming. But luckily, I've been spending a lot of time with family and stuff, so it's been good. Tomorrow, which we normally have Death of the Deities, we found out that one of our employees has to go in for one of my employees. One of our players will be going in for training for a new job, so he won't be able to make it. So we're going to be playing something else, and Modifius just sent me an email approving all the assets that I made and said, hey, we want you to start streaming Fallout 2D20 soon. So we'll be doing like a session 0 of that, because I know a couple of the people in there will actually be in the Fallout campaign and just kind of doing a one-shot of sorts. So that'll be fun. So if you are in to know how it works, it's a fantastic system. It's right in between Fantasy Flight Star Wars with how you can control the narrative, and Dungeons and Dragons where there's actual levels and classes and things like that.
Nice. Yeah, I was curious on that.
Yeah, it's a blast.
I mean, it sounds quite appealing.
It's such a good system. I've played 2D20 Star Trek Adventures. This one's less clunky than that, and I don't mean clunky in a bad way. I like clunky systems or crunchy systems, like systems where if you want to do something, you could do whatever you want. Literally, there's no reason why the game master will tell you no. But there's also rules to support everything that the players could want to do. Nice. So the player's handbook is like 500 and some odd pages long, and it is quite a hefty tome. I actually have the physical copy, but I went out and bought the digital copy because I am not going to hold that book and flip through the pages every single time. But it's a great system. It's a great system. I just made a bunch of spent 9 hours 3D modeling assets that I downloaded from the creation kit and stuff. So my brain's a little dead because that's a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah. Congrats, man. Looks like things going pretty well. Back to the Wicked. What's been happening, dude?
Alrighty, now we're on to me. Yeah, just a second here. I always forget to do this. No, I appreciate it. You did great. I just forgot to mute my my mic on my stream so it doesn't echo and have like reverb. And so hi everybody. So for me it's been an interesting, very, very busy couple weeks. I started my new job before the prior session, and I've just been working. I unfortunately haven't been working out like I want to, because I like the workout sessions. I like hitting the gym, but unfortunately, because of how late my my work's been going and how tired I've been afterwards, I have not been doing my workout. I have came to the plan and the understanding that after my 365 challenge, I'll definitely be hitting the gym more, but it's really hard to hit the gym and find time to stream and find time to spend time with, the family. So it's been a bit of a priority shuffling. So if anything has to take a hit, it's going to be the workout, because I am still getting like calisthenics and fitness, because it's busy, it's lifting, but it's lifting light weights, under 50 pounds I consider light. It's lifting light weights repetitively for several hours, so you're still going to get fit, but you're not going to get bulky, and that's what I want. So after the 360
aerobic, like you're moving around a lot.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can break a sweat if you're pushing it hard. But other than that, it's just been kind of meh. The only sad thing about it is, like, yesterday was my Friday and I was super excited, and I was on my lunch break and I'm like, hey guys, it's my Friday, I'm so excited. And I clocked back in from my lunch break and I went inside, I walked in my store, and I was like, how am I going to make this last 4 hours? It's my last stop. I've been kind of working a few things to just kind of push product out, but not overdoing it. And so the back room needed some cleanup. So I'm like, I'm going to clean up this back room. I'm going to make it look good. And then as soon as I walked in the store, I hadn't even gotten past the cash registers. And I got a call from my boss and says, hey, we had a guy call in today. Can you go 70 miles away and go run those stores? So yeah, that's what I did. I went and ran another 4 stores that were an hour drive each way. I didn't get off until 6 p.m., so I didn't get home till after 7. And so, like, well, there goes the end of my Friday, which I was going to go work out and do my things. But, what do you do? It's money. Overtime is good. Lady and I found a motorcycle. If you go to my Discord, you'll see a picture I posted in it. We found a motorcycle. So if someone just wants to generously gift me $2,500, Wicked will have a new segment where I post videos about riding my motorcycle eventually, because it's going to start snowing up here soon. It's crowdfunded. Other than that, though, the 365 challenge is still going. I'm on day 306, which is intense. We're getting down to it. Like, I'm glad to see it ending, but I'm nervous as well. My wife's company actually lost an employee, so she's gonna email her hiring manager and be like, hey, I know somebody who would be a perfect fit for this job. And she's gonna kind of like talk me up a little bit and see if I can't go work there.
Volunteered without missing a heartbeat.
Oh, I did. I'm like, hey, pick me. It's not all glamorous and glory, okay? It's not all the good stuff. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff, but
it's not all glamour and glory. That's right.
Yeah. But it's still gonna be fun. So she's like, hey, my husband would like to work this. We've worked together for years. I did a lot of the training for her and telling her how to do stuff, and she always went to me. So, like, she's going to really kind of talk me up as being this most amazing person. One of the things
she could bring up that could help you, too, is the fact that you guys did work side by side during COVID, during the stay-at-home order.
Oh, yeah,
that was a pretty stressful fucking time, but if you guys didn't kill each other and still managed to get married the summer after that, I'm pretty sure that looks pretty good for you guys.
We literally worked 2 feet apart. We held hands a lot during our work days. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty impressive. And people would ask me, like, how can you do that? You live with her and you work with her. And it's like, well, that's because I love my wife. Like, it's not that,
as a married dude, as a married dude, I'm with you. People are like, how can you spend so much time with your wife? Like, do you guys ever get sick of each other? And I'm like, listen, even when we're at home together, we have our own individual lives.
Yeah.
We have our own hobbies. We go do our own things. I'll work on Photoshop creating stuff for the stream. She'll work on Photoshop doing photography. We'll laugh with each other and joke with each other, but we're focused on something else. So it doesn't feel like we're around each other 24/7.
Right. And when we were working side by side, we were working. So yeah, it wasn't like we were hanging out, partying, and like trying to figure out what to do and entertain each other. We were working. So yeah, it's great. So yeah, we've talked about like all the cool things that she can mention to try to make me look better. hopefully.
Well,
Other
good
than
luck
that,
with
though, that's it. I got a new lamp that shines light on the side of my face, so that's kind of cool.
Well, good luck with
Hey.
it, man.
Small things.
And so, without further ado, we pan in to see the mute. Sitting there, eating his breakfast, remembering the day.
It was a rather interesting time today. Not really a whole lot of excitement, not much in the way of monumentous or memorial things. I did try to outdrink one of the brothers during a contest in the bar. I tried to strike up a conversation with him, but it's very hard to talk to somebody when they don't understand your hand movements and the way that you communicate. I motioned as a little, and I pointed at the house, trying to say, like, the little person that lives in the house, trying to start up a conversation about Bjork. But the brother wasn't really understanding or didn't care. I don't know how many horns he had before I started, but it looked like it came out clean when we began to drink. His horn was rather mighty, and he could finish it before me, so he gained a lot of respect in my mind for that. As I was making my way back from the tavern, I came across Bjork. I don't know if he saw me there. I don't think he did. He was having a conversation with the moon and the stars. I didn't hear everything.
Bjork looks up at the moon. I know I did not have time to visit you. It's been good. Just returned home from our convoy. Very profitable for my uncle, and it was also very profitable for me. Having managed to negotiate in with a deal some supplies for a ship. Blessed by my foster parents. Presented me with designs that my father had worked on. It definitely points me in the right direction. I know that you may have seen me with a group of people. It's very useful, both combat and trade. And during our journey, we have made a strong friendship with them. Friendship that I hope will bud into brotherhood. As we climb the ranks from thrall to huskarls. Need friends and allies like that. One thing I know about Jarls, their reigns do not last forever. And oftentimes the title goes to the most qualified. It's funny, I think about it, and Mute would make a fantastic Jarl. Unironically. On our journey, we met a new friend, Varger. There was a lot of distrust with Varger. Oddball. You know, earlier tonight, I actually spoke with others. And I already feel a keen friendship igniting between the Graf. He's had quite a momentous time, having traveled to the temple, or when we met you, saw you the first time. Again, just seeing him grow as we journey. He's going to be a very, very, very wise and powerful man. Sometimes we bicker with each other like children. My boat on the way, Mute's combat prowess, Graf's spirituality, and our new friend Varga. Really feels like for the first time in my life that we're becoming... Oh, and don't even get me started on the drinking games. Oh, Lord. Mute gave it his all. Took on the biggest Sigerson. Sat down, cups after cups, horns, just constant drinking. But you cannot outdrink that Sigurdsson. He drank Mute under the table. I saw Mute around earlier today. I wonder if he's got a hangover. Probably sounds like a giant's anvil. Hey, Ragna, if you can hear this message, or if the gods could ever show you that I do care, I do. I did not mean to blow you off. Things were tense. Relationship with the Sigurdssons was still being tested. I could not be seen in front of fellow warriors as someone who tended to a woman every town he went into. Not that I've gone to a woman in every... You know what? Never... Gods, could you leave that? Never mind. It was a good day. And I'm looking forward to what adventures lie ahead. In scene.
And there we
You
are.
missed the whole information that you were the only one given, which was the whole reason why you were taken over. You suck.
No, I didn't.
Suck.
I included everything I wanted to.
Okay. You were cutting out a little bit every once in a while. Maybe I missed it.
If you're referring...
Bad.
Yeah, your mic seemed to cut off a little bit once in a while.
I'll fix that.
Don't know why. Are you referring to the communication that Vargar had with someone?
Yes.
I didn't hear that either.
Oh, for shame. For shame. That's fine, though. Let us begin. By the way, Vargar likes someone else. He's not really a follower of Loki. And we're going! But Mute doesn't know that.
Nope. You also don't know that he was speaking to someone, or what about?
Well, I figured since we're literally going to be taken off at that point.
Yes. Let's do this.
Okay. So you guys left off in the tavern, having finished some dialogue and drinking. Vargar had been speaking with a woman who looked unhappy. And, yeah, he was overheard a little bit by Mr. Bjork. And Graf was recently to enter the tavern as well, viewing this drinking game ending. So you all are there in the tavern. Anything else you want to do, or you want to just go crash?
As mentioned before, I definitely want to speak to these guys before we go to bed.
Take it away.
Raph does. Raph arrives at the tavern after saying a few prayers to Odin and the gods in general, and yeah, he probably walks in right now. I don't know if animals are normally allowed, but Raph does have his raven with him, of course.
Yeah, the Raven's a little bit different.
So, after Vargar and I approach Vargar, seeing the interaction. Vargar, that is. Well, I don't know her. I'm asking.
Oh.
You have seen her. You don't know her, but you have seen her.
Yeah.
I had a good memory, I'd remember, but...
You spoke to a woman who looked the most foreign,
right.
and she looked very distraught and unhappy.
Oh, yeah,
What was
she
her
had...
name again?
Did I ever get her name? It would be the...
Pretty sure you did. Pull it up as well to make sure I get it correct. Do you happen to remember?
The recap helped, I'll tell you that much. because I have a really bad memory. I remember her. There's this guy that the rest of them know about that killed her husband, I think, and she's like very like angry and upset about it.
Well, she doesn't
You bring it
exactly have a husband. And her name was Asleif, Asleif.
Asleif.
She looks familiar. Not in a good way either.
You know, Bjork would know exactly who he's seen her with.
Right. Bjork would know that because you mentioned that last time,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm also in the middle of a tavern and trying to keep it down. You need to get the others immediately.
Oh. All right.
You did nothing wrong, and I'm sure she's a fine woman and there's nothing wrong with her. It's who she's been dealing with.
Your mic. Your mic
Oh,
is
sorry.
faded out.
I don't know why it's fading in and out. Let me fix that for you guys.
It's very random on when it chooses to do it.
Yeah, it's also a Discord thing that's really annoying.
Yeah. They do a lot of things
she's
well.
going for the dramatic pause.
It's the ADHD function. You're talking and then you wander off into something else.
All right, so that should be better. I should not wait out any longer.
All right. Sounds good.
So Bjork was able to overhear the conversation. He doesn't want to insinuate that he was eavesdropping.
I wasn't dropping
so
no
he's
eaves
gonna
first.
kind of. Oh, was not dropping no eaves, so. He's gonna go ahead and kind of guide the conversation. So Varga, was she abused, Varga? Was she hurt?
Whoever. She didn't get into specifics of it. She said that this person that she asked well, she didn't ask me to kill him, but I would love to make her happy.
Well, she basically said that's the only way you can help her is to kill him.
Well, suffice it to say, we're familiar with him. And I think that's when you realize maybe that I was dropping some eaves.
Probably. He also probably realizes you're speaking through a clenched jaw.
Yeah. Let's just say that me and the other fellas, we have beef with this gentleman. Oh, beef is a dumb word. We have a grudge with this gentleman.
We got beef.
We got beef.
We got beef. We see him on the streets. We throw down.
Mute, Raph, and I have already played around with the idea of, and then I look around. Is anybody watching?
Bull.
Oh no!
Bull perception.
Oh,
Did you
this
notice?
is where it does me in. I always do good in combat, but out of combat, it's like booty hole.
It's alright, you got Raph going the other direction on things.
Oh, that's not bad at all. I'm happy about that. My perception was a 20 total.
You see a few people are kind of curious what's going on. And you see one who has like cold dead eyes, like staring you all down. And that's the lady wondering what in the world you're all up to.
Yeah, and then I just kind of laugh at Varga. I'm like, well, we've done enough. Mute's probably...
She's on the other
completely
side
blitz.
of the tavern, just to be clear, so it's not like she's right up next to you guys.
Right, but I'm making a show.
Yeah.
Mute's probably already blitzed, and we've got a lot of work to do in the morrow, so... Maybe we should go gather the others and then head back to my parents' house.
That will work.
And I'm going to flag. I'm going to flag down Raph because I know he just came in.
Just got here. Okay, fine.
It's important, Raph. Mute, buddy, and I go over to Mute.
That was important.
Mute is a bit tipsy.
Mute, it's time to take you home now.
Sigisson is there. You want to go for another round, little man?
I take my 2 cups. I look at the bottom of them.
You're not sure which of the 4 you want to drink from.
Yeah, I shake my head, and I stand up from the table.
Have a good one then.
And I'm gonna stand next to Mute so that if he has to lean on me as we walk out, he can. But I'm not gonna like hold his arm or his hand or anything like that, because I want him to be able to have a reputation as somebody who can hold his liquor.
Let's have him roll a con save to see how well he holds himself together as he's trying to exit with some dignity.
Since I am kind of helping him, can he have advantage?
I'll modify it since you're not directly helping
Okay.
him.
I rolled a 12, and what do I add to that? Dexterity?
No,
Con.
your Constitution save. So on your right hand sheet, it's 2. It's under your proficiency bonus.
All right, so 14 total. So I can stumble. I might accidentally bump into the door on my way out, but I think I'm okay.
Actually, you don't. Because you notice as you stumble to bump, you bump into Bjork, who seems to just be walking and pretend like you didn't bump him, and nudges you just very casually to get you back on your balance a little bit. So he actually helped you just enough to get the DC down where you actually succeeded.
Huzzah!
I would like to state as I kind of lean into Raph, make sure we're not being followed, and I'm also going to keep my eyes peeled. But we're not going back to my parents' house. I just said that out loud so that if anybody was following us, they'd kind of go to the wrong location. Right. I want to head west out of town.
Now, if anyone does go to your family's house looking for you, they might get gutted.
Who? My family?
No, if someone goes to your family's house,
Oh yeah,
they
that's
might
why
get
I'm
gutted.
Not too worried about it.
You interrupt
Not
me
too
now?
But I want to head west out of town. Probably good, where the town's still in view.
Yeah.
But if Raph and I need to keep an eye out, I know Raph's really good at it. That's kind of his thing.
You have him taking up the
Keep eye out.
Yeah. Turns out he keeps his eye out all the time.
You have him taking up the rear, so let's have him roll a perception check. See if anyone's sneaking along behind you.
And you have your bird, right? Oh, that's not bad.
17 on the die plus 8.
You are pretty certain you're able to evade and not get seen.
And I am hand motioning to Mute the entire conversation that Vargar had with the woman and about how Vigo has been hurting her, and to remind him that Vigo is the one that slayed our mentor, even though he was an old man, and even though technically everything he did was legal, it's still in the realm of honor a very shady, dishonorable thing. And it's the guy we've been wanting to, get in trouble with the Jarl, but it's unlikely.
I nod with understanding. and I motion back. Trouble is not that hard to create.
And once we're outside of town, I'm going to kind of bring everybody in.
Okay.
Vigo needs to die. And I'm not just saying this for Varga's sake.
I nod and agree.
Not only did he kill our mentor, but the woman, and I kind of look at Hraf, that Varga was talking to, has been beaten and brutalized by this man.
I mean, Varga basically said that she's just treated as his property and cattle. Not necessarily beaten.
I still like beating.
The conversation that Bjork got from it is that she was definitely abused with her stature, with her, offhandedness, and just the look at her. Like, that's not somebody who's just property, like an indentured servant. That's like a domestic violence issue, and it really rubs Bjork the wrong way.
Oh yeah. No, it should. It's be clear. She didn't have any markings like she had been beaten on. That I don't think that. I don't know if Bjork saw the markings, but the markings would be hard to know if they were self-inflicted or not, or if they were inflicted upon her. But they were fairly detailed, which would mean either incapacitated when it was done, sort of.
Yeah,
aspect
it's
of
not
this.
only that. It was for Bjork. It was Vargar's response to it.
Okay.
Like, Vargar had an immediate response, like, "Who do I need to kill?"
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't known him long, but in all the time that we've traveled with Vargar, it doesn't seem like he's more the con man or the stab you in the dark kind of way, but this was like, I'm ready to go toe-to-toe one-on-one with him right now.
Yeah. Got
And that's what kind of struck Bjork is, I've seen this before. I know this behavior. This is not good behavior.
Okay.
And he already kills old people, so it's like
right.
not hard to connect the dots.
No, and I want to make sure I understood perspective. And make sure I communicated clearly. That's all.
Play in the nat 20 I got on my eavesdrop
Oh
perception.
yeah. No, you're good. So yeah, you guys can talk it out. Bjork presents us all to the three of you.
Now, of course, we can wait for the proper moment, but the longer we wait, the more this snake seems to climb up the caste system. Soon he'll be in charge of everything.
What does it matter? What does it matter when, if, or how long he can obtain authority if he does wish for that? If we've hit the seas, does it matter? We can come back. We can deal with situations as they come, or we can act now. I personally have no preference. If you want to see him removed immediately, we can go a tactful way, or we can go a brute way. God, I wish we had Jotnar. What is your intentions?
Well, I was thinking the same thing. We can do this cloak and dagger, which unfortunately, if we're caught...
As he says that, I look over at Vargar.
Or we can do this mano a mano, a holmgang.
To be clear, you guys know that they should be returning within a week or two at most. In time to deal with whatever needs to be dealt with for winter preparations. Because we're getting towards the fall. And you need to have time to, inventory the produce so you know what else you need to do before winter to be prepared. So the ship is supposed to be back in time to be able to head back out and buy more food if needed to survive the winter.
Now, I've traveled on a boat before. No matter how strong or experienced you are, whenever you go on a long journey on a boat, your body is exhausted. I think if one of us were to challenge him to a holmgang for the abuse of this woman, the rest of the group, the rest of the tribe would accept it. However, despite the fact that he did slay an old man, my concern is his martial prowess might be far beyond ours.
He's been gone. Who's to say the marks, the concerns that you have are not done by her? Who's to say it's not done by another man? If we challenge him based off of markings that we cannot place upon him, our challenge is unbiased. We have nothing. And if we lose said challenge, what did we lose for? I don't disagree that we should take this individual and remove him from the realm. I just think that if we are going to do it, we need to do it right.
And I agree with you. And if you remember with a holmgang, we don't need much for it to be legitimate. We could even want his farm, and it's still in the eyes of the law would be legitimate. I don't want to go that route, to be fair. My only fear is that if the longer we let this lie, the more powerful he will get in political strength. And if he moves up the chain like I think he's planning to, who knows who else he'll kill on the way up? And who knows if we'll even be able to challenge him later.
Your mom and dad are here. Well, your adopted parents are here. I understand how you have concerns and you have desire to see them safe. And I know that they would be potentially in danger. A specific merchant doesn't come back with enough money from a sale. The Jarl requires more of a payment for the sale than is due and doesn't receive it, then yes, your family needs to be protected. But who's to say we have to strike honorably?
And that was the other option. However, we can't get caught. We get caught, we're dead. Our families are dead.
We happen to
thing I
know
don't
a
have
very
family.
good sneak.
I think whose family's not here.
Yes, but I wouldn't feel comfortable putting all of our troubles, and I motion to the three of us squarely on your shoulders. But that might be the route we have to take. Question is how
Sneak
do
does
we
not
present
need
an
to be.
opportunity?
He does not need to perform an action other than granting us access. You stated that when you get off the boat after a long trip, you are tired, you are weak. Maybe our new friend here can find a weakness within his shelter. Maybe we can gain access to him in his sleep.
He will
Maybe
also
we
likely be drunk. It's not a bad idea, Mute, because there's always a celebration when a boat comes back.
maybe we can pay somebody to bring him out. He may be looking for love. If he is the abusive type that you say, he's probably not the most loyal with his givings. Perhaps we could pay someone, lure him into an area.
Would Asleaf meet with us, do you think? I look at Vargar.
You mean I don't know if she would meet with you. She seemed like if well, you might survive her gaze better than I did.
Or better yet, would she meet you somewhere? We can hide. Come out once you guys arrive at a destination.
I would caution against that. The more people that we involve that are pre-involved, the harder it is to complete. Yes, she may be abused by this individual. She may dislike him, but she's still his wife. She may still be loyal. And if she catches wind of our plan, she may derail it beforehand, and he may even challenge us based on that after he's rested and after he's restored. And then that would also bring the shame upon your family, put them in danger. I would not reckon bringing in her.
What do you think, Raf?
I think it's a plan. Subterfuge is sometimes needed, and but the fact that she brought it up, she's either using Vargar, but it seems it's still plausible that he is who she said, because we know him well enough as well that it does seem within his character. Perhaps maybe trusting her and letting her know that it's more than just Vargar who's willing to help her. She may be willing to share some privileged information, some information that might help us in this endeavor.
She has nothing to gain from us or from Vargar. We have 2 weeks to determine her character, I suppose. She wouldn't be manipulating us at this time. We have nothing to give to her. So if she takes an interest in Vargar, and Vargar is able to recruit her, then I suppose she could be a viable asset.
But do we know her at all? Have we interacted with her at all in the
None of
years
you
we've known her?
have ever chosen to interact with her. You have seen her. You know
She's always been kind
who
of a
she
social
is.
pariah.
Kind of.
And I haven't. This would have been a good time to pull Jotnar out of our back pocket. Yeah, especially if we did challenge him.
Huh? Just gotta get a video card for him. Because those are cheap.
Yeah.
Vargar, even though it may look like we're not doing anything, this conversation will be the first of many. It is clear that we need to have a distinct plan. But I want you to know, you don't have to do this alone. We already have a grudge against him. He's a murderer.
You said earlier that you didn't want me to have to carry the weight of this on my shoulders by myself. But if I am to consider you, and Vargar will look at everybody, if I am to consider you my friends, then by being a friend, I have to be willing to do that sometimes. So while I have no issue with being stinky and opening and unlocking gateways to allow my friends to murder this scum of the earth, I am also to challenge him if I need to.
Now, the other players would know this, but not Varger. He's Vigo, the one you're talking about, is known to be a ruthless fighter and a good fighter. But he's not known to follow the rules completely. He will portray the rules, and he knows the rules very well. He very much totes the line to the very limit, if not slightly over, be like, oh, I didn't know that was too far, sort of thing. But his martial prowess is known. He's not to be underestimated in a martial fight.
Yeah, and even if he were to fight fairly, he could still easily trounce us.
Correct. That's what I was saying. Like, even though he's very much good in just a straight up fight, he also will play dirty.
Now, just wondered, did we say we're like there was we were waiting to do this? Like someone said 2 weeks.
Vigo's not here right now.
Oh, he'll be back in 2 weeks.
He's out on a raiding.
Okay, then
He went Viking, so either he's out raiding, trading, but knowing Vigo, probably more of the raiding.
Then I suggest we have a few things to take care of while we plan this some more. I suggest we finish down the catacombs, removing the undead presence there, and we can discuss this. We have time before we have to finalize a plan.
I agree with this. If anything, we may find some ancient item, some sign from the gods that may help us with this deed.
Would an agent of Loki accept going into a cave cursed by his own?
I shoot Varger a sideways glance.
Varger will match that glance, and he'll look back and say, if it is cursed by Loki, then I have nothing to fear.
We have already destroyed a few of the statues of Loki. Ask this Varger if that would upset him. And this is motion to Jarl.
Yorick motions back. The interesting thing about followers of Loki is over everything, despite their loyalty to their god, it's their love for chaos. Destruction is destruction, no matter whose it's against. And I don't even bother asking Varger. I just state that regardless, either way, this benefits him.
Okay.
I know me long enough. I think you guys know me long enough. Hraf and Mute would know I'm hiding something because
Oh yeah.
My deception skills booty.
Yeah, you guys definitely detect something's up.
I motion back, and if he gets out of hand down there, I won't hesitate to put him down.
And I motion back, deal, and then extend my hand.
I reach back.
Would it? Since Varger doesn't understand the hand signals, would it be a craft? Would it be a step to figure out, like, what I'm trying to say is, with this hand signal for willing to kill him.
Is it universal? Did I flip him off and draw my finger across my throat?
I bet you could probably roll an insight check.
Yeah. One insight.
I would say that would probably be the best way to go for it, because what I'm kind of picturing with Varger is, have you ever seen the 13th Warrior?
Yes.
I'm picturing exactly that, where he's like picking up piece by piece, and eventually he's like, I understand you now.
Yes. 13th Warrior. Man, that is like a really good Viking movie that went very under the radar.
That is 19 plus 1, so 20.
You get broken bits, but you definitely are starting to get it.
But does he get bacon bits?
You get that he was stating hostile intent under a certain circumstance.
To me.
Mhm.
So, okay. So Varger just like gives Mute a little bit more space.
It has been
So you see
agreed.
Varger takes a step back.
We could go to the catacombs. But Varger, I point my finger at him. Know this. If you coordinate with Loki in any way, if you use this dark tomb as a way to supplement your abilities with that of Loki's, we will put you down. And then I look at Mute like, yeah?
I smile and nod.
Since Raph knows something's up, can he see if he infers any more with what was said to actually figure out a few things?
If you want, Raph, you can make an insight check against my deception check since I'm straight up lying.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, Lord.
I am not trained in insight, but I have a wisdom modifier. Ten.
I got a 15.
You are being sneakier than normal. You're really hiding what you were saying.
I've had a couple hours to think about this.
I try to sign to Bjork without Varger seeing. Like maybe I in front, like I step in, like I sort of walk in between, and I sign to him. We will talk later.
Okay. Anything else in your dialogue here?
I hand motion to them that we should go back telling jokes and laughing. So it just seems like we took a drunken stroll out of town.
Motion back. I'm not going to tell a joke.
But I actually,
That's what the
Raph
mute says.
Raph actually says, do we have anything to discuss in the morning? Because I wouldn't mind going to the catacombs sooner than later, unless we have something else to discuss and want to postpone it a day.
Bjork was going to work on longship preparations, I believe, in the morning. Cataloging, prepping.
I think this takes a little more precedence. Because we can get silver down there, which I can use to buy supplies. And that's also a really good cover story.
And it helps to pay for additional training.
True. Just so you all are aware, you do need 600 silver for the next. 600 a person. In the morning.
And then on our way back to town, I look at the group and I hand motion this. Wait, I don't need to hand motion it. He's not deaf. I just say this. So, how do Vikings send secret messages? And I look to the group.
And I motion back. My brother, of course. It's in Norse code.
Steve, you do tell us. All right, well, maybe you haven't heard this one. What do you call a Viking who doesn't eat meat?
Oh, that's a good one. Probably a dead Viking.
Anyone else?
Leaf?
No. And then I point to Raph. Do you have a guess?
Trying to think of something, but I can't. No
He's
guess.
preoccupied with thoughts of Odin.
They're Norwegian.
I look at him. I don't get it.
I don't either. It was told to me by a trader, but they all seem to enjoy it.
Who's this
doesn't
weird
eat
trader who showed up one year? He said he was from this place called Yarth.
Yarp.
Yarth. Come from Yarth.
And then, we go back to my parents' house, but I'm also keeping an eye to make sure nobody went there.
Okay.
Well, since the town is relatively safe, I could have gone first because through the shadows to see if anyone was there.
You could have also flown your bird.
No, the bird can't see in the dark.
Oh, poo.
If the bird is
An
with me,
owl.
I can see in the dark.
It's a raven.
Glares at the DM.
What?
I'm gonna make an owl subclass, and when we play a Roman theme or a Greek theme, Roman or Greek.
You could have tried to think of a way to go with something other than a raven. I didn't write the rules that ravens don't have dark vision.
You know, he's right,
Merchandising.
Raph. I mean, the owl rolls has a nice ring to it.
They're not very wise.
He could have gone for a weasel.
No, that's stupid.
It's a Wessel. Wesselton.
No, what you really should have gone
Go
with
straight to bed.
is it Guppy.
Okay. A guppy.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, friend, take a look. And he just throws this fucking fish on the ground. And he's like, go on, guy.
The hedgehog rolls.
Ooh.
Yeah, but then you'd roll a nat 20 and Sonic would fucking run around the entire Earth. He is exactly 7,000 kilometers that way.
All right. So you guys get
Okay.
to your sleeping locations. Sleep finds you.
I'm motion to the group. Do you guys want to sleep here? You want to spend the night? Or you want to go back to the barracks?
Oh, can we build a fort?
There's not very good space for two comfortable of sleep arrangements at your parents. They could, but it would be less comfortable. Be tight.
They could pile up in my.
I think given the situation, I would nod that I'll sleep here, and I will go sit in the front room against the wall, feet crossed back against the wall, and lower my head. Remember, I'm drunk. I'm ready to sleep.
Well, you probably would have asked them before you passed the barracks, so they had the choice.
Yeah.
But that's what I assumed you did. So
The temple here didn't. It's not like there was sleeping space at the temple, sort of thing.
no, I mean
Traveling priest.
you could sleep on a bench or something, but it's not like sleeping quarters. Because there's
So
enough
I
other
guess-
places in town. It's a smaller structure.
So I guess it would be what, like at the Jarl's place, or well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they have basically, it's kind of like an inn, but it's, all one small longhouse that's dedicated to barracks, essentially. And it's where people who need temporary accommodations stay. Whether that be because they're visiting the Jarl, or because they're here in training, or going through, whatever it is. That tends to be the defunct housing arrangements that people can go and acquire.
Yeah, Raph is comfortable going there.
Okay, so Haraf is going to the barracks. Barger, Mute. You hadn't quite gotten to Bjork's house right now.
I'm
You're
going to
kind
Bjork's
of
house.
passing. You're at a junction. You go one way to the barracks, one way to Bjork's.
And I don't want to impose. There's also not a lot of room there, but I appreciate the offer. I think I'll just stay at the Longhouse then.
Varger?
I don't suppose your parents have a extra large living quarters?
They do not.
Barracks it is. Have a good night.
Well, good night. We'll see you guys in the morrow. Come on, Mute. Let's get you bedded down.
So meet before the sun is fully risen, then.
Not yet. But it will soon.
Breakfast at my place.
All right, I'll wake Varger up. We'll meet you there.
Okay. You guys find your sleeping arrangements. Sleep finds you. Barger has dreams of his home and the evils wrought there and what he transpired there. Mute. You have strange dream. Not fully sure. It seems almost foreign, but almost like a memory.
I would say so, yes.
You have... What kind of dreams would Haraf have?
Actually, he would have dreams of flying, of being a raven.
Okay, I was thinking possibly that. You dream of being a raven, flying over the island, overseeing what happens below. Bjork. You dream.
Bjork is dreaming of his boat.
More specifically, you have a few dreams.
Oh no.
Your first dream, you remember when you were very young. Very young. Barely toddling about. An old man was working with your father. They were working on it. You see some tools that the old man is using. And he seems to be stiff and not quite able to do as well. And he's... Now this is a younger version of your father. He's congratulating him on doing a fine job and hands the tools over to him.
The same tools I was given?
Mm-hmm. The boat. It's immaculate. It's beautiful. And you see the Jarl, the current Jarl, take it out. Years later, you remember, and it comes to you in this dream, you're quite a bit older. That one comes back, and it's damaged. It can't be repaired. The Jarl seems to be very furious with your father, but he's not just fixing it and making it okay and using it again, but he's saying it needs to be replaced. It can't be just fixed. Looking at the ship, you see it's barely holding together, and numerous marks of damage. Large marks. Jarl eventually storms off. And your father has you start helping him on building the longship that you know is currently out at sea in the hands of Vigo and some of the other housecarls of the Jarl.
Started off such a good dream.
And your father leans into you. You know, my boy, I hope one day you can use these tools for better work than I'm permitted to, as he gestures to some subpar logs. But must do our Jarl's bidding, and we will do the best we can do. Right, my boy? And it ruffles your hair.
Right, Papa.
And goes to work. Then you see a grand ship. Magnificent ship. Finest you've seen. With someone at the head of it, looking at you. At the... Not the... It would be the helm, right? Yes, the helm. Sorry, brain and words. This individual is bigger than the ship could possibly handle. However, he seems to come to a more normal size so that he can stand on the boat, which you can feel is yours somehow. And you hear a voice as he speaks to you. Yorick, the future is unwritten, but it's within grasp to make it so. And then you all come and find the morning.
Bjork doesn't say much in the morning. He's very quiet.
Me too. See what I did there? I notice he seems a bit off, but I'm going to wait until he wakes up before I ask him if there's anything he needs.
Okay. Yeah, you know he's awake. Bjork, your mother starts making breakfast. Ah, good morning, Bjork. Are your friends joining us for breakfast?
Yes. We have a dangerous journey ahead.
Well, before you move out, you may want to await something. And she gives you kind of a mischievous wink, like she knows something that's gonna make you happy.
And like somebody who hasn't slept well all night. Look at her. Oh, mother, enough with the games. What is it?
It is not a game. Baggy will be returning soon.
All right,
And
we will wait.
you didn't even know he was gone.
Where did father go?
Well, he needed to turn the goods into the Jarl that the Jarl requested, as well as make some sales with some of the goods to some of the other individuals in town who requested them and purchased them.
I see.
He stopped by, getting the stuff for the Jarl, and seemed particularly chipper and pleased, as though some of the dealings had gone quite well.
Well, that's good.
Varger, Raph, do you guys join the Mute and Bjork at his parents' home?
Well, yes. Raph wakes up and he wakes Varga up and says, "You wanna join us at Bjork's house for breakfast? You're more than welcome to."
Oh, thank you for inviting me. He will get up.
Well, I just meant if you want to come, if you want to stay here, I'm leaving now, so you can join me or not.
He gets up and follows him. He makes sure all things are with him, and then he goes and follows him.
It wasn't very many people here last night. There's only a handful. This place is usually packed, but this season it's a lot more sparse. You guys get over to Bjork's house, and sorry, a little bit of a yawn there. And Gunvor is placing the breakfast on the table. Ah, welcome, welcome. Lays the food out for you all, and you're able to eat and talk, do whatever you wish. Bjork, is it obvious something's on your mind? Your friends? So, Harath, at least you would definitely know. Something's on Bjork's mind. He's very quiet and contemplative.
Bjork, is there something you want to share? You don't seem quite as
I had some bad
talkative.
dreams. And I cut them off, and I'm very short and ill-tempered. It's just bad dreams.
There are times that dreams either reveal something about ourselves or even something about our future. Is anything, if you want to talk about it, I'm always available.
Well, our futures are not yet determined, but they could be.
And yeah, Bjork, you can't shake that magnificent ship you saw.
He just grabs a loaf of dry tack and whatever bread may be available, if there's some, and just starts eating.
Your mother touches you gently. Bjork, I made some eggs and bacon. Did you want some?
I'll get to it.
Okay. As you guys get ready to finish breakfast, the door opens and walks Baggy. Bjork, you've not seen him with a grin like this in a long time. Bjork, my lad, you did brilliant! Now, I do have something for you all.
Confused.
He takes out the sack of coins, sets it on the table in front of you all. This is your share of the earnings, lads. You did a great job.
What did I do?
Well, when we helped out, most kind. Is there any chance? Raph is above average intelligence, but actually, let me see something here.
Varger, just to be clear, this was basically the payment for the escort that you did.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know, the one you didn't get paid for yet?
Can he make an educated guess on the size of it based on what the size?
Sure.
Size of it?
Roll.
Yes, you put it in your hand and you make a guess. How big is it?
Yeah. Well, I guess investigation would be appropriate, unless you're allow perception. I guess he's going by a hunch, so I would say perception.
Sure. Basically, the higher you get, the more accurate of a range you get.
Oh, if it's perception, 15. If it's investigation, it's an 8.
The 15 for perception and 8 for investigation.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say if you're just looking at the bag and feeling it, it would be perception. If you were taking the coins out and counting them, that would be investigation.
If you're taking the coins out and counting them, I tell you.
Yeah.
If you're trying to
guesstimate,
investigate them by holding it, weighing it, feeling how much it is, that's investigation. By just looking at it, trying to evaluate, that's perception. So you guesstimate, Raph, that there's somewhere between, I don't know, probably something between 300 to 900 coins.
Varga will look at him and say,
large satchel.
How much is in that?
You're asking Baggy?
I'm gonna just ask Baggy, how much is in that bag?
Why don't you find out and divide it amongst yourselves? Don't be shy.
Since Raph's holding it, he tosses it to Bjork with the bag.
Look over to Baggy. You're going to make us count out each coin?
No. If you wish, I can tell you. I just said you might as well divide it amongst yourselves.
I just slide the bag over to Mute. I trust the one that doesn't talk to do the counting if his hangover is not too bad.
Very well.
Smile and put it in my pocket.
And part of why I don't want to go into those details, Bjork, is because I wanted to speak with you.
Oh?
Of the dealings that I was able to do, since we did such a fine job, is I was able to procure the old barn that your father used to use to build his ships in when the weather was bad. It's laid...
That's great news.
Yes, the farmer is old and is kind of been unused. So now, you have that space to do as you wish.
And without even thinking about it, he says something that probably Baggy would not approve of. Old, you say, huh? Keep him away from Vigo.
Vigo's let's not get into Vigo. That is not wise.
No, actually, he kind of throws the hunk of bread down. Let's get into Vigo. This entire village tiptoes around the fact that he murdered our mentor.
No.
And for years, nobody said anything, did anything, stood up for the old man's honor, no nothing.
That is actually not true. You may not have realized it, but many in the town were very upset. Vigo is now
Good.
charged
Can I
a
have
premium.
a list of their names?
We came together and got a proper burial for him. It is the Jarl, more than Vigo, that we have a problem with. And until we can get the Jarl's ear away from Vigo, Vigo is much more protected than some of us would like. Not everyone is blind to the fact that Vigo is not exactly a very pleasant fellow. But
the question is, why does the Jarl trust his word over others?
Because he has a good sword arm, from what I hear, and they went on mission. They went Viking together, so obviously he's so trustworthy. But Vigo has changed over the years. Become more and more venomous. Gooseguard tried to warn those who would listen. Not all would hear, especially the Jarl whose ear had been deafened to things against Vigo. If Hjalmar had been here the day of the challenge, I do not think things would have gone the way they did. Fortunately, he had dealings with the Jarl.
Do you think Hjalmar would stand a chance against Vigo?
Hjalmar and Amund would both be able to stand against Vigo, and are the only ones who might.
I
Unfortunately,
quirked an eyebrow to the rest of the gang.
Amund is not allowed to, because he's under jurisdiction from the Jarl to stay out of dealings. And Hjalmar was not in town at the time. Then again, Hila and Liv, as well as Ari, are good warriors, but they're not to the same degree Vigo is. They're more the... Ari's more his type, and gestures kind of to Vargr. You know, less perceived. And Yela and Liv are newer to the occupation. So they do not have his degree of skills.
And if I were to put down Vigo?
Depends on the manner of which you did it. You'd have to do it in such a way where you had the Jarl's blessing to do so.
Should
Or
have
it
never
looked like
given me
an
those
accident.
tools.
You probably would get quite a discount for doing so. From many in town who would offer services to you afterwards.
You know, friends, if say Vigo came back and let's say he went home and by pure coincidence a bolt of lightning in the middle of the night struck his house and it burned down while he was asleep, it'd be most unfortunate, and we'd be out the enemy.
Yes, Vigo.
I
would be
motion
dead.
to
So
Bjork.
Steve.
A motion to Bjork. We are treading dangerously here, my friend. We shouldn't discuss.
He's got my father's boat.
I'm not saying we shouldn't do anything. I'm saying we should not discuss these things openly.
I walk away from the table.
Now, I will point out something that Raph is aware of, since Raph is the one who might talk to Vigo, to Vargr right now. Raph?
Yes.
The barracks connects to the Jarl's Longhouse, kind of an off portion of it. The Jarl's Longhouse is actually where Vigo stays. So what Vargr just suggested was burning down the Jarl's house without knowing it.
And now is not the time to correct him on that, I think.
Just making sure you're aware of it.
Actually, what is Baggy? So York just walked away. What did
Baggy's
what
going
is
after
Baggy?
you.
And then I keep forgetting the mother's name.
Yorick, your friends aren't very good. They forget your parents' names.
How did they
I have it in my notes, but
mom?
I'm having problems navigating.
His mom's name is Stifler's mom. Stifler's mom.
Gunvor.
Yorik's mom has got it going on.
Gunvor.
I will check my notes. Oh, here we go. No, that's not Ragnar. I thought I had more notes.
Gunvar.
Gunvar, yeah. And what is Gunvar doing?
She's actually had left you guys kind of at the table. She's working on getting her shop opened.
Oh, okay. If then I will lean over to Varger and say, he stays at the Jarl's longhouse, close attached to where we were staying last night, so probably not the best idea to wish lightning hit this.
All I am saying, Ralph, is that, that we hear from Baggy that people have an issue with the Jarl, and that people have an issue with, some people have an issue with Vigo. It wouldn't be us, it'd be lightning.
Bjork, where are you heading?
I'm going out because I imagine, most Viking families had a couple of chickens, small livestock to keep them fed. I'm going out into the chicken coop, and I just sit on the bench that they use to feed the chickens, and I imagine the chickens are quite tame, and I'm just petting whichever chicken decides to come over to me out of curiosity.
Yeah. Baggy comes out. You gonna be alright?
Those tools you gave me unlocked memories I so desperately tried to hide away.
I'm sorry. That was not my intention.
I know.
Simply wished to conduct with what your father wished. That when you came of age, that you received them.
I appreciate you for that. You have no idea how much I appreciate. But
You might cut out a little bit.
Wronged my. Sorry.
It's alright.
I appreciate what you and Gunvar have done for me, but Vigo has not only wronged my old mentor, and in proxy has wronged me. He's stolen my father's boat, which wasn't really my father's, I understand, but when you give a gift and you intend it to be used for something, then to be shamed for how poorly that gift formed, only to then turn around and have that scum of the earth benefiting from it.
Well, let's go to the barn and talk, shall we? Some things are best said elsewhere. And he gives you a look of like, we are about to go down to Hell's Realm and deal with something ugly. You go into the barn. This one is one that you actually knew your father used, but you'd never been in. Because it was more his private projects he kind of kept in there. And
his
it wasn't
main
always
cave, so to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy who owns it can't really, he never had children, so his way of making money is basically renting stuff out to others. Like this. Because he's no longer able to, work very well. And he's not been able to find honorable combat to end it either, right? And so, kind of stuck. But he does the best he can to live an honorable life. You go in.
Is the old man there on the premise?
He's in his house. You can see it from here, but he's not out there. So it's just you and Baggy here. And he opens the door, leads you in. You're hit by the smell of wood. Someone, you know who, did a lot of woodwork in here, and it smells of it. You notice models of some ships, different wooden furniture pieces, a whole bunch of different works of your dad's hands. He's like, I'm glad to see that your father's works here were left alone. I was worried the
Yes.
Jarl would come and claim them, but it seems as he did not know about it. He was registered with the our host as storage, and so was just written off as such, and said that he's able to sell the goods to recoup funds, and he was wise and prudent to not just let anyone have access to it. Now, you may want to sit down for this, Bjork.
Bjork eyes him nervously and sits down.
You know, Gunvar and I had a son, right? You notice he's visibly shaken and saddened.
I have had my ideas that might be the case.
He was a little older than
I
you.
never wanted to pry.
He was training as you did. Fortunately, he got to train under someone. And they went on this training mission, and they didn't come back. Their
Is Vigo
teacher,
the trainer?
indeed. He claimed...
Why are you not as mad as me?
Oh, I am. I have been working many ways trying to get proof and eradicate him, but he said he sent them on a simple mission to deal with some wolves. And when their bodies were found...
Alex, to your proof, I stand up and walk away. Not away from him entirely, just like a few steps.
I have done what I can, and I have tried to resist him every turn of the way and cause problems for him. He's not welcome to shop at our
We
shop.
had a Jotnar with us. A Jotun.
Mm-hmm.
Look at us. We are slaying undead. We
And-
aren't heroes or warriors by any might, but why did you not bring us into the fold?
Because...
Are you afraid Mute will talk?
No. The Jarl. He said he made a ruling based on the investigative works done, that it was an accident, and we should all accept it as that. But how could they not take out a few wolves? They were trained, they were equipped. I splurged and even got my boy a nice sword. It was missing. Why would a sword be missing? And no one's seen it. It's just vanished.
So you say you've been making these plans.
Indeed.
Do these plans need funding?
All the funding we can get. However, money in itself
Great.
is not the only option.
Pull
Won't
out my
fix
coin
it.
purse and I toss a hefty coin purse at his feet. There's 150 silver. I'll even give you my cut.
I was going to say, if money's not the only issue we have. Skills. I've finally been in contact with someone who says they are of the stealthy persuasion from another location who is not subject to the Jarl, who said for a hefty sum they may be willing to come and hear our plight. They should be arriving sometime soon. Unfortunately, it has not yet been able to happen. It should be soon, they said, and we finally have gotten them. But it has been rough, trying to do things under the Jarl's nose when he so loves snooping about and knowing everything. But I couldn't very well tell the Jarl. I saved up and bought my boy a wonderful sword that's missing, without asking that such resources be splurged that way.
Asking for resources. He was your son. You should not have to ask a Jarl's permission to give your son a gift.
Oh, but it's his iron that's being used. Is it used in a way he authorizes?
Who's next in line?
Right now, his son is supposedly the next.
And after that?
I don't know. Then it would probably go to the Gotti to decide, as well as the people.
So it would become a democracy at that point. Huh. Fogger wasn't wrong about a lightning hitting the house.
You don't vote for kings.
I didn't vote for you.
It's not exactly how it works, but the way they do it here is the people will kind of put forth who they think is worthy, and the Gotti will essentially cast lots and determine who it is, asking the gods to ordain the next leader from the presented choices.
Let me ask you a question, DM.
Mm-hmm.
The models. Is there a model of the ship that my father built that Vigo now uses?
No. I would love one, but I haven't been able to get that yet.
No, I mean in the barn.
Oh.
The models that are there.
The ones in the barns. No. And you know why.
You know.
It was not the one he wanted to make. Not in the time frame he wanted to make it. Not of the materials he wanted to make. So he didn't bother. But it was still... He did his best he could.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's kind of like if you went to a sculptor and you handed the sculptor Play-Doh.
Yeah.
And you're like, make SpongeBob. And the sculptor's like, I am a Renaissance artist, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the gods spoke to me.
Really?
Last night. And I am, like, I don't speak much about the gods, but you can tell by the look on Bjork's face that he's not messing around. Have you ever had a dream talk to you? Or did you just live and witness the events in said dream?
Sometimes. It's rare.
This dream told me the time is coming. I'm not predetermined. And then flooded me with images of every slight Vigo has done to my father in this town. Why would the gods do that?
I do not know.
I do. We need to kill Vigo.
Very well.
I think I have to be part of it.
Well, they're supposed to be returning within a few weeks. Let's see what can be done. I will see with my contacts about this individual coming. Like I said, I didn't want to get you mixed up, because you guys were on the path to potentially be able to do something against Vigo. Another path. An un-shadow path, as it were. You know, you could face him off by becoming mighty heroes, mighty warriors that caught the eye of the Jarl, showed your merit, and could face off against him that way. That why we didn't try to bring you into the Underdunes.
As a man of reason, you really think he cares about honor?
No.
Gusgard.
However, there are others who do. Amund, Kjalamar, Ari, Hili, Vivi. If you just discredit honor, you would not have them on your side. They are good, honorable warriors. We didn't do it for the Jarl in and of himself. We did it for those who protect our island, who fight for the honor of the gods, for Valhalla, for
Protect
our
our
safety.
island from what?
Not all the lands surrounding this island are safe. North of the hills, there is bad things. And on other islands, there are terrible things. I've heard of beasts ripping a whole town to pieces. And they protect us by sometimes bringing home food or goods to get us through winter when we have a bad season.
Becky.
Hmm?
My friends and I, we are going back to the catacombs to rid Loki's plight from this.
Is there anything I can do to help you with that?
Yes, I would appreciate a hole. This barn, if there isn't one already, where we can hide things underneath.
This is your storage barn.
Right, but if I'm out slain and dead, I'm not going to have time to do it. Do you understand what
I do. If you have things you need, I can put it in here is what I'm saying. This is a place you may use.
We have a hidden storage. The wealth from our mission there, and we will say nothing
He brings you
about our
into
exploits.
an area where there's a bunch of items kind of stashed. He's like, there. He pulls out a small digging tool, digs a bit of an area, and kind of just puts the dirt on top of a board and covers it up. Places it back over top so you can't see that I was there. We can make plenty of hidden areas here. And we can hide anything you need here. If I know the
And
amount of volume you need, I'm sure we can get it taken care of.
thank you, Baggy. One other thing. I cannot be responsible for you and Gunvar's safety.
I know.
Not claim such responsibility with this reckless task that is ahead of us. Let's get hot. Appreciate it if you guys left. I know you probably won't. Need to get back to my friends.
Indeed.
Baggy,
Yes.
I give him a hug.
He hugs you back. The
Never
hug of
lost a son.
someone who
I've been
understands
here
loss.
the whole time.
Thank you. Bjork.
Yes.
Honor and valor.
Valor.
Much ahead of you.
I give him a brotherhood handshake, and I turn and start moving to the house with great purpose. And I think as I enter the home, the three of you would see that I am no longer like that rage that I was experiencing is still there, but now it's honed in like the edge of a blade.
Something happened.
And it's probably something that even Mute has been trying to get me to forge, but it seems like overnight, all of the instructions that Mute has been giving me the last few weeks, it seems like it's hit home. Something happened to me in the middle of the night, and now I don't seem as immature. I seem like I'm, for the first time ever, fighting for a bigger purpose.
Welcome back, friend. Let me guess. He told you you're adopted.
Did. Shut up, Varger. You are ready to go.
laughs at that joke despite without realizing that he stops himself.
Before we leave, I go into Gunvar's shop.
She's there, getting everything set up, getting everything displayed and ready. A few people have come by and bought things.
Do you have a moment, Mother?
Ah, yes. Bjork, how can I help you?
I give her a hug. I bring my mouth over towards her ear. Go will pay the blood debt for what he has done to you and Baki, Ginyo's son. Have a good day, Mother. And I release her.
She gives you a hug. And you notice as you walk away, you have something extra in your hand.
God, what is with... Well, I'm the most oblivious person in the world. I gotta be the easiest person in town to pickpocket. I look in my hand.
It is a fine carving with some silver. So it's bone, but it has some silver in it. It's a icon of he who you've put as your patron.
Oh.
She's like, may he watch over you.
And I go back into the main building. Raph?
Yes.
Visited me last night in my dreams.
Sorry, could you say that a little louder? I didn't quite hear it.
You will be pleased to know that the gods visited me in my dreams.
Well, depends what they said or did.
Describe it on the way to the catacombs.
Any preparations you guys want to do before you head that way?
Well, I'm going to just bring it up again. I was thinking of getting better armor for you guys. Especially, the two of you, because we know, out of character, the mutes will be able to wear medium shortly, once we level up. If I remember correctly. And he'll use a better weapon anyway, so I don't know if we want to hold off on upgrading the mutes equipment, but at least the two of you.
As I've mentioned before, I already have leather. The AC bonus that I get from that is not going to matter as much as remaining lightweight and investing instead.
Well, you can get one better, essentially, what I'm wearing.
Right. But I can use that money to level instead, which would benefit me way more than one additional AC.
That's true. Well, okay, that's fine then. Metagaming a little bit. Yeah, we say you're more interested in getting on with this than delaying any further.
Well, I'm more interested in leveling. I don't want to spend money on...
Well, I guess I'm training here. Yeah. I guess because you're two-handed fighting, right? You spear's two-handed.
Yeah, the long spear's two-handed.
Yep.
Okay. Then you don't need a shield either. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Aside from poultices, if you're okay with going in with no poultices, then and rations. I don't have any rations or poultices anymore. I just have some torches and arrows, and that's about it. I have a lot of arrows.
There you go.
I've got 3 D4 rations, so why don't I just give you 2 of those, because I also have 2 quality rations given to me by my love.
Does anybody else need rations?
I think I do.
Okay, so you said 2d4, so 1d4 each then, I guess.
D4 rations times 2. Just remember the way that the rations work is if you roll a 1, you burn through one of them.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we both have d4 rations. Okay, that's good. Mute, do you have all the supplies you need?
I don't see why I wouldn't. We've literally done nothing since we left the convoy and came back, so I'm pretty sure we were rationed up before we went for the convoy.
Actually, Baggy provided the food for us, and that's why I didn't have any.
Yeah, that's why I said we literally did. Like thought we were rationed up beforehand.
He was
but
meaning,
I could be
did
wrong.
you burn through your rations last time you went to the tomb? That's what he was basically saying, to verify that you still have those rations.
I honestly don't remember. That was like 6 sessions ago.
What? Come on, Wicked.
You couldn't.
You gotta remember
it couldn't
everything.
hurt to get one more ration for Wicked.
Yeah, it's not. He doesn't have it on the sheet, so.
I don't have shit on my sheet.
Well, no, you have throwing axes. You have D6 usage dice, so for your throwing axes. So yeah, you don't have any rations written down. So let's just say you don't, and we'll have to acquire some for you.
That would suck to starve to death.
Yeah. There's not currently any on the sheet, so that's something you could grab. And actually, you could probably get them
we'll
from
just
Gunvor.
yeah, I don't have any because I didn't know how to use the sheet until like 2 sessions ago. But yeah, we'll
That's
just say
right,
I don't
man.
have any. We'll buy some.
And actually, if you just want basic rations, Gunvor will pack you some. For what you did for her husband, she's quite pleased and will give you a basic set.
We think Gunvor. I think Gunvor for breakfast and supply ration. I'm sure if we could talk, he would thank you as well. Actually, as we're moving along, unless someone still has something to do, I asked Bjork, isn't it odd that we just call him the Mute? Shouldn't he have chosen a name, or we assign him one? It's just odd name, I guess.
Every time I've asked him what his name is, he's shied away from the conversation and just replied mute.
Yeah, you think we should assign him one just for ease of use, I guess? It's just, I don't.
Well, what's wrong with the mute?
It seems more of a title than a name.
I mean, your name is Raff, which means Raven.
Well, that's what my parents named me, and maybe they knew something they didn't tell me.
Aren't all names titles?
Alright, I was just thinking. It was on my mind. Just wondering what. I just thought of bringing it up now.
It's better than the other name we had for him.
And what was that?
Big, Tall, and Ugly.
That was Yodnar.
Oh, Jotnar, if only we could have him back.
Yes, that would be nice, but yes, I know. Yeah, I'm named Raph, and he motions to his Raven, and this is Liv, and we both mean Raven. Yes, I know. No, actually, sorry, Liv means life. I changed it. I actually had an alternate word for Raven, and I called the Raven that, but I went with life instead. Do those horses? Were we given the horses, or were we just loaned the horses?
You were just loaned them.
Oh,
Baggy currently
okay.
has them in the stables there under the Jarl's ownership. You could request usage of them if you wanted.
Okay, no, because I named the horse and everything, but never mind. That's fine. It probably had its own name.
So as I'm packing up some of my stuff, I walk by Bjork, and I punch him one good time, just right in the arm, just for funsies.
Ow! What?
I don't know. I had this strange voice in my head telling me to do so. Apologies. Not really.
You're such an asshole sometimes, Helod.
Yes, and then the voice said, "Got him." I don't know what that means.
Maybe the gods are speaking to him too.
Loki whispers to Minnie, "Will you beckon his call?"
That's what I was implying. I didn't actually say it.
All right. Do you guys want a quick 5-minute break, or are you guys good to go?
I might need 5 minutes, right quick.
Okay.
Just the gods of Bladder are angry with me.
That's why I asked. All right, then we'll take a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll jump back in and wrap up. Get to see what trouble we can get you all into. Well, Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. So, the party finds themselves equipping themselves, packing their gear, and readying themselves to delve into the bowels of hell once more. You ready your things, check your gear, and unless someone wants to do anything else, I believe you guys are getting ready to head out of town. So, you head from Harkins along the road. You cross a river, and then you'll head west. I believe you said you want to speak on the way out of town, so I will let you do that now. Were you going to say anything? I thought you said you wanted to talk to him on the way out of town, or was it someone else who said they wanted to talk on the way out of town? I believe one of you said you wanted to talk about something out of town on the way.
Yeah, on the way I was going to talk about the dream.
Go for it. Like, you guys have left the gates and you're on your way west along the road. It's okay. I didn't want to skip it, and then you'd be like, but, you know. Go for it.
I dream. Thinking about the tools that I were given. Started remembering things from my childhood. But unlike most dreams, there was a voice in my dream, and I did not recognize the voice, and it was deep and imposing. But it wasn't narrating the dream. It was spoken directly to me, as if it was saying, "Do you understand?" And I had to mentally acknowledge what was being said before the dream continued on. The voice said that our destinies are not yet determined, but it is ours to make our futures. And then as soon as that voice got that word out of its mouth, it flooded me with memories of every scummy thing Vigo has done to this town. Not everything, but the major stuff. Then I find out that Unvar and Baggy used to have a son about my age. He was in training. Also, I believe Gooseguard... Was Gooseguard the trainer for their son?
No.
I know you mentioned a name and I was just completely spaced out.
Vigo was.
Vigo, that's right.
Unfortunately.
Vigo was Gunvar and Baggy's son's mentor. He basically sent them out on a mission. A simple mission, should have been easy. They never came back. When Vigo sent an investigation party, it was chalked up to wolves having slain.
The Jarl sent the party, the investigation party. Vigo said it was just an accident, and so the Jarl sent out the investigation.
Anyway, they found out that wolves had taken apart the party. Except for one thing. Gunvar, behind the Jarl's back, bought his son a very expensive, proper sword. And the sword was never recovered. Wolves don't take weapons. For that matter, how did Vigo know there was an accident unless he was there or went there afterwards? Jarl sent an investigation party in response to Vigo having said it was an accident. Baggy is convinced Vigo killed his son and all the other trainees. That end, apparently we're not alone in our plight. There are a lot of people in the village making plans right now to get rid of Vigo. Why the dream? Why now? Why, of all days, night full of merriment ended with a prophetic dream? I turned to Wrath. Am I just planting this in my own head to justify my thoughts? It's the direction the gods want us to go.
Well, I'm all for it. Sounds like more uncovering more information and giving insight into these matters. Just further proves that maybe we are on the right course of action.
Now, Bjork, just to make sure you're aware, it is the ship that you can't shake out of your mind that you saw. Masterful craftsmanship.
Yeah, but I don't want to fill them in on that detail yet.
I was just making sure I was clear, was all.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're good.
I have a feeling something's going to happen on their way back. I have a feeling the Jarl's not coming home. The Jarl has gone with them, right?
No.
Or is he? Did
The
he
Jarl's
say?
home.
Okay. Yeah. I have a feeling important members of the town aren't going to make it home from this Viking. Somehow Vigo magically be one of the survivors.
I guess I would nod my head and continue.
Moreover, Baggy and several prominent members of the town, from which they have a lot of support. I mean, honestly, the description he gave me, it's a powder keg. If it wasn't for the other Jarls of the other villages, if we were the only place, the only civilized place on this island, we could hold a rebellion and win. That's how much support they have. But apparently they've all been saving up money to have some stealthy individual come and hear out their case. Sounds like they're hiring an assassin. I don't know if that's the case.
I look over at Varga.
Barger, have you been offered an expensive contract?
No one has come to me. Did they give a name? Who knows? I might know.
Not give a name. His contact should be here soon. He almost sounded like he should have been here a while ago, but Point is, the person they contacted is very, very talented. Apparently, sounds of it.
You,
Definitely not Varger.
I got apparently, and then you faded out.
Apparently, he's world renowned.
Then it sounds like our job will be easy.
Except for the fact that it also sounds like he should have been here already.
Well, what good would it do him if he was here if Varger's not here? Or not Varger, Vigo's not here.
Well, he was supposed to arrive when Vigo wasn't here. To talk with the townspeople without the prying eyes of the snake.
I mean, if I were an assassin, it'd be a snake hiding from another snake, but...
Well, the assassin hasn't accepted the job yet. Only that he was going to come and evaluate, but apparently they were hoping he'd be here to evaluate before Vigo returned.
Yeah, price was set, and a tentative deal was struck.
Do you think it was found out?
It would come.
It would not surprise me, but if not by Vigo, because Vigo's been gone, then by who? And from the looks that we were getting in the bar, I'm beginning to wonder if Vigo has spiders in the web.
Well, you see why I was mentioning earlier we shouldn't talk openly about things such as random lightning bolts. We need to be a little bit more cautious as to what we discuss and where. But it is possible that Vigo has spies out there that are feeding him information or protecting him when he's not here.
Where's a safe place you can go and chat?
Oh, and out of character, guys, I figured out the mic problem. It was Discord.
Oh, heard to hear that.
Apparently, the input sensitivity was way too high. Or way too low, rather.
Got it.
I hate this program so much.
Where is someplace to go to talk then? Where the eyes and ears of spiders cannot find us.
That brings me to my next point. Apparently my father had a workshop, a hidden workshop. It's a barn of an older resident in the town. It even has secret hiding places for treasure. Something they were going to use to raise money to bring up a case against Vigo. It's mine now. Every ounce of treasure that we find in this catacombs goes there, but we need to be back before Vigo returns. And if the Jarl sees us, we need to make sure that we can pay homage. No one knows we're going to these catacombs. No one should have any expectations that we're going to come back with treasure in hand.
Well, 2 people know you're going there.
Well, we hopefully trust those 2 with our lives.
I mean, they offered to hide it for you. Well, they offered Bjork to hide it for him.
And the adoptive parents of Bjork are okay in our book.
Well, not only that, but I feel that if it came down to them being tortured or killed, they would go out fighting because of what happened to their son. They wouldn't feed into the wheel that poisoned this town. And then there's a third option. We say screw this place and subjugate ourselves to be thralls of a more just Jarl. However, that is frowned down upon.
Corruption is everywhere. It would be a service to others as well as an honor to ourselves to correct this corruption, much like the curse of Loki upon the place where we're headed needs to be cleansed. Corruption of this Jarl needs to be changed.
To be fair, from what I gathered in the conversation with Baggy, it's not really the Jarl. Something about the way Vigo presents himself that shuts the Jarl's ears out to all of his wisest advisors.
Yes, but it is also not the vessel's fault whether it holds water or oil. But if it holds it and it causes an issue, then we still have an issue with the vessel. If the Jarl is accepting counsel from somebody that is not appropriate, then the Jarl is the vessel that is holding the oil instead of the water. And if we can fix the issue, either by eliminating the oil itself or the vessel that's in it, either way, the situation will be resolved.
Many of the people feel that if the Jarl can be convinced that Vigo is up to no good, that he will destroy Vigo. He will have him killed.
But how do you convince one that his best is actually not his best? It would take a grand show of, I guess you should say, inappropriateness to do that. I did have a thought, however, that I was going to mention when we were discussing Shadows in the Night. What if Vigo takes more back than his share? What if when he went Viking this time, more money shows up in his purse?
I was thinking that as well.
It was a thought that I had before. Maybe our sneak friend doesn't need to open a physical gate, more of a metaphorical gate. Maybe our sneak friend can get into his coin and place more there. Put a little bit of distrust in the Jarl.
I think you're on the right track, but I also think you're making it a bit more complicated. There is a fine weapon that is missing, one that Gunvar did not tell the Jarl, for if the Jarl knew that they possessed it, there would be hell to pay. And if these people that Vigo was training just mysteriously disappeared and then Vigo claimed it's an accident, it insinuates that Vigo... What was an accident? How did he know that they died? How was he informed that they were gone? He told the Jarl they were dead and it was an accident, which means that he would have had to have been there either when it happened or after it happened. Either way, wolves don't take swords. I'm wondering if our sneaky friend here can go into Vigo's room and perhaps discover a fine weapon that was not reported to the Jarl in his midst.
Has the Jarl seen the weapon before?
Never.
Who's to say it didn't recently come upon it?
Either way, it should be reported to the Jarl. Vigo would have to give it. But if we could discover that while Vigo is gone, and before he arrives on his Viking, then the Jarl will be irate that Vigo never reported that he had such an item.
And you said my plan is complicated.
Do you know someone who is forced to sleep in Vigo's quarters?
Yes, that was my next... If we can talk to Asleaf and just have her confirm that a sword is there, she could place it out in the open. And then one night, when Asleaf is relatively safe...
Every time you say her name, I think of Tarzan and a loincloth. It's
like literally an ass leaf.
It's an ass leaf.
We can check and see when Asleaf is relatively safe. If a fire were to start in the room, which is of course attached to the Jarl's building, perhaps by accident, and the Jarl and his men were to run in and put the fire out, there would be this nice weapon out in the open that they would see, and Vigo would not be around to defend himself.
I mean, it would be a decent option one, as well as potentially a setting up for options 2 or 3. It wouldn't be bad to try it.
I don't think it would work the first time, but much like breaking a frozen pond to fish in, the more chips that are in the ice, the more fragile the ice gets.
And someone who's not well known in town, perhaps knowledgeable in art of trickery, might be a good person to assist us in this. He looks at Varder when he says this.
Yes, if we can find someone like that, that'd be wonderful.
It wouldn't be hard to sneak in either. The barracks is attached to the very same building. Why would they guard a man's room who's not even there if his lady is there? If we're able to sneak in unseen, they'd have no reason to stand watch at the door. I don't think the Jarl is holding her prisoner. She was at the tavern.
My idea. This sword of his that he owns, that is not his own, is this, I guess, your brother's, okay? We could take it instead of, and just have it on our person. Because the only person who knows that it is his is Vigo. And if no one else would be able to claim it, just take it. And then it'd be his word against, well, he wouldn't want to say anything. Because he'd have to claim the sword that is not his. Was hidden in his person. Versus maybe me holding it, and he is,
I like where you're going, Varga. What if we were to take the sword and then present it to the Jarl and tell him that we found it, and we give it to him as a gift? The Jarl would display it on his wall. I am afraid if you walk around with the sword on your belt, or any of us, Vigo could challenge us to a holmgang and then it's over.
True.
But with that, he would not challenge us.
He would.
He would.
Well, but what reason would he have to challenge us? I mean, specifically with the sword, and it doesn't have him lose face with the Jarl.
He would come up with a reason. Holmgangs are interesting. You can declare a holmgang if you want somebody else's wife, or say their adopted parents' shop.
Just, can you... Is it usually 1 versus 1? That's the question.
Yes.
But can any of us actually defeat him?
No.
One-on-one combat aside from Jotnar, whoever he is.
That is why it would make more sense to present it to the Jarl as a gift before he came home, and then the Jarl displays it on his wall, which would cause Vigo great anger. Potentially even ruffle his feathers enough to know it's from us. But if he declares a holmgang on us after we just presented the Jarl with such a fine gift, the Jarl can intervene and say, no, these are my finest warriors. That's the only way to get out of a holmgang, is if the Jarl says no.
We, of course, have cleared out a sea of undead and presented a gift from within the dungeon, of course.
Exactly. And if he challenges us to a holmgang afterwards, we will have not only the Jarl on our side, but the rest of the town. There is no reason he could come up with to be so mad at us when he's been gone so long. And I guarantee you that the other Huskarls would not allow that to happen. And another process of the holmgang is that somebody can take your place if they want, and there's plenty of Huskarls, according to Bagi and what we've seen, who could easily best Vigo in a fight. such as Helmnar. Helmnar wasn't around when Guskard was challenged by Vigo. If he was, he would have taken Guskard's place. But there was a reason why Vigo waited until he wasn't around.
You guys know that Amund was the one who actually finished your training as well, because he was actually there and didn't stop it. Which, Bjork, you remember why?
Yes.
Oh,
I would say having the sword, whether we present it to the Jarl, or if you keep it for yourself, as it would mean a lot to Baggy and Gunvar, for it to be within their possession again. Either way, it still doesn't sow the seeds of mistrust. Because other than the Jarl finding it himself, there's nothing that's going to put that weapon in his hands and begin the downfall. So I would mention, I would venture to the side of actually hiding it in one of your newly discovered caverns within your holes within your barn to keep for Gunvar and Baggy if they want that memory of their child. I would not present it necessarily to the Jarl. Either way, we'd get the same results because we've taken from Vigo.
So we could let Vigo know that we have it, in a manner of speaking. Because
we don't want to alert Vigo to our intentions.
well, no, but then he won't challenge us to if we just hide it.
If we hide it, it could be months or years before he even discovers it's missing, because to him it's a trophy he has hidden away just to remind him of how he bested somebody. Now, Amund finished our training. The Hjalmar, the Huskarl, is who we work with now, or who we work under.
Hey, both of them you do.
Yeah. The point is, if the sword is on display by the Jarl, that will show Vigo that someone stole it from him, and that is going to piss him off, and he's going to start acting irrational. If we take it and hide it in the barn, he may never know. He may never check. He's obviously got it hidden somewhere. As for
It's up to you. The sword belonged to your family.
As for Baggy and Gunvar, they gave it to their son before he left, and it very well could be the reason why their son was killed. I don't think they look at the sword with any fond memories. If they did have it, they, good lord, probably just give it to me. But if they knew that it was on the Jarl's wall, and it was sowing the dissent that ruined the man that killed their son, then on the wall is where it should remain for all of eternity.
It's a good plan.
Not that I'm disagreeing with you, Mute. I'm just trying to think. We need to think 10 steps ahead.
Nor am I disagreeing with you. Just presenting other options.
But
those
I would-
hiding areas.
I trust, the Mute is good with tactics, but I think this is on Bjork more than the rest of us. If you decide to recover the weapon and present it to the Jarl as something we found in our travels, then perhaps...
I stop, Raph. What if we didn't find it in our travels? You said you just acquired that barn recently, correct? It was known that the barn was from your father, correct?
no.
Or that it was his
It was a-
usage, though, yet?
No, it was completely hidden from the Jarl. The Jarl didn't pay it any notice.
It was just a storage shed.
But the
Just a
storage shed
supplies
had no name.
barn for his father.
Right, and if we found it in the barn and presented it to him, then I would owe the Jarl taxes, basically, for having my father having that, I would have had to pay the sins of my father for not reporting it, and my family name would be besmirched.
Yes and no. Yes, that would potentially be a thing. It could also be a look what was found as we were going through. Perhaps it was one of your father's last treasures acquired, and you felt it important to present to the Jarl as a gift from your family, as it wasn't able to do so because your father met his end before he could present it. It doesn't
Then
have to
again-
be presented as a hidden object.
The Jarl could seize the barn, go in there and make sure that there's no other treasures, and potentially put to death the old man that owns the property for having
Yeah,
hidden such goods.
That would be a negative, absolutely. Just a thought. Carry on.
Bjork, did you ever share with them how your father died?
No. It's not that it's not a need to know, it's that even though he died of suspicious circumstances, I don't even think Bjork fully understands, if that makes sense,
Mhm.
why or how it happened. And that would be an accusation that would be flung around that, you know, even Bjork wouldn't be able to connect the dots or trace it back to anybody.
Right.
However, he has his suspicions now. All of these notable people being killed, the whole ordeal with the boat. Mute.
Yeah.
There is so much that I am learning about myself from my past. And I respect why you keep your past, where it lies. Promise me one thing. Promise me that no matter what happens, you will not try to accept any of the blame. If it comes to one of us having to be put to death, I'd rather be the spark that fuels the fires than anybody else. Not a lot of people know much about you. Your death would weigh very little on the town, and I mean that by no offense.
It would, I suppose, not be the most grandeur of events if I were to challenge or say or do anything out of the protection of you or your family. But yes, they don't know me. Nobody does. And that's kind of the point. But if it comes to it, I will do what I feel is right at the time.
However, if I were to pass, Baggy and Goomvar will be gone. I've already told them that at the first sign of trouble they are to leave. Baggy agreed. Stick to
If
that.
I am close enough to them, and I still draw breath, I will ensure that they stay safe.
Actually, I had another request for you, a different promise. If Baggy and Gunvar leave, Baggy has contacts of people who want to bring Vigo down and correct the Jarl's ways. They are going to need somebody. Somebody who has knowledge of what has been going on to inspire them to...
Are you
things
asking me
upside
to give
down.
a speech?
No, I'm asking you to lead a rebellion. If it really comes down to it, and that's the only other option, you have the respect of everybody because people don't know much about you. Because you follow orders and you get the job done. That is something the Huskarls can get behind. Because no one knows much about you, there's zero reason for anyone to have any animosity towards you. Me, on the other hand, I flap my gums a lot. I've even verbally reprimanded people I shouldn't, which you were so kind to remind me that I need to curb. You, on the other hand, have not slighted anyone. You're very practical, strategic. You are the perfect soldier. I am not. I'm a boatwright.
Well, then build your boat, my friend. What do you have to prove? What do we have to prove? Vigor knew what he was doing, as did whatever the hell his name was that was our mentor. We knew what they were doing when they initiated combat with one another. It is our ways.
And with what I dreamt and the memories that came back, I can tell you right now that even if I were to build the most grand boat, in very little, as Vigo made sure to discredit my father as a boatwright. And by in turn, I have inherited his reputation. Why Baggy and Gunvar gave me an opportunity to prove myself elsewhere, which is why I'm even here, and I kind of hold up my spear in the first place. Raph has the tightest connection out of all of us to the gods. It's important that he remains in the gods' favor and not our favor, if that makes sense.
I was just thinking that myself.
Exactly. He must remain impartial for them to even take him seriously. Varger, well, he's a stranger. Nobody's going to follow him, listen to him, or take him seriously. No offense, Varger. I value you and your combat skills. As for Jotnar, he's a Jotun. Doesn't matter if he killed Loki himself. Because he's a part giant, he will never be equal to us. That leaves you, Mute.
Well, none of this matters. Unless you die. So I slap him on the shoulder. So don't die.
Don't intend on it, but at the same time, my boat now not going to be my main goal as much as it is going to be my cover. What lies beneath the workshop will be my main goal.
All right. You guys pass the river. Head west off the road. Raph, there's footprints here that are newer than your old one. Someone has come this way. Person. One.
I point that out to everyone.
I would like to look at these tracks and see if maybe they were traveling with a cane or a walking stick.
Sure.
Ooh. Oh. I don't know why I went Christopher Walken. Oh.
I know,
Did
but it's
it.
fun.
That would
Means
be a
more
survival
cowbell.
check, right? It's
How
more
much?
cowbell. It's a survival, right?
Yeah.
All right, let me check something as far as tracking, because I might be able to...
This watch was in your father's ass.
Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh in the middle of your impression, but I was not expecting that.
Oh, that's fine. It was just to be funny.
Wait. So I know the only thing I have for tracking is with my 21, I know exactly how many there were, the size of the individual, and how long ago they passed through this area. So at 21.
Right. So, one person, medium size, smaller frame, so not a big, heavy warrior type, someone a little bit lighter. It was a few days ago. And you
Is
notice
there
there's a few
marks?
different
sorry.
ones. They're a little bit differing weight, but it's the same individual. What was your question?
Was there markings to indicate a walking stick or a cane?
No.
My theory that it might have been Alvis.
Did you say Elvis?
Alvis, you know the old man? That
Oh,
we,
okay.
met
Yeah, I know the old man. Yeah, that I played with King's Board with. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like maybe it was him because smaller frame, medium sized.
But he would have no reason to be here.
Is it
Free.
going away from where we're headed, or
No,
Or
it's going the same way
works.
you're heading. And there's footprints going to and from where you guys are heading.
Now, I've been thinking, without Vigo here, he must have someone with eyes and ears, and in the Jarl's village, and perhaps this is someone, one of Vigo's eyes and ears, coming to, or perhaps to have the ear of the Jarl beyond reason and belief. Perhaps there is magic involved, and who better? He pauses for a moment, and a servant of Loki, but he doesn't look at
Burger.
There's right now.
Burger, I need you to roll a int check. So int plus modifier plus d20 roll.
I knew it. It's a wolf. My wolf jack. No,
We could get this guy's head and bring it back to the Jarl and be like, one of Vigo's men was in the tomb consecrating it.
that's for what it is.
Somebody put those Loki
Wait.
gems in there.
You threw it off the table.
God damn.
That's a nat 20, right?
There you go. Roll it on the table.
All right.
That works.
Oh.
Ooh. Can I give him my advantage, my inspiration?
Sure. You're going to hand that out.
That's okay. I just assume we have one.
Yeah. I'll let you guys have one for the start. That mean he still has his.
So a 6 was your highest roll.
Plus just intelligence save or intelligence check?
Just int mod.
8.
Something about these footprints. It's you, but you can't place it. What is that? There's something with these, but you can't pinpoint what it is.
Okay. I will be able to, okay. This is my weird question. Because I haven't really figured it out when it comes to like 5e stuff. Could I take a 10? You know,
No, not in this circumstance.
Okay.
If anyone's noticing, Raph's eye is glowing, and essentially, he's invoking the Eye of Odin, which is detect magic.
No magic is detected here. But good idea.
I don't know about you
Um,
guys, but I say we go inside.
I think we should examine the entrance. I know we weren't exactly expected to come back here at this time, but should inspect the entrance. But then again, these are the, I guess, burial grounds for members of our village or the island.
Historic burial grounds, so not current. You know, many years ago, they used to be used as kind of the burial mounds of House Carls and Jarls, the higher ranking individuals of the island. But this was like eons past.
Although what we do know is that somebody's been in here recently to put up those Loki shrines.
No, those were old.
Oh, never mind then. Scratch that. We don't know that. Get out of here, Bjork. Stupid.
But so no one would have, like, no one would be here visiting a relative, sort of thing.
No.
And we only came here for our I guess a test of our
Yes.
strength and color.
You guys decided you wanted to go with the most disturbing option possible. And
So,
you heard stirring of undead and decided, hey, that's the one for us.
and on top of that, a single person, even one who is a great warrior, even Jotnar would not come here by himself. Unless it's up to maybe possibly a nefarious intent.
I do have a question for the DM.
Mm-hmm.
The most recent tracks, were they going in or were they coming out?
Out.
Not in there.
Wait, they came out, they didn't go in?
They go
did
both ways.
I'd like to track these footprints. What do you guys think?
I think we have a bit of time. I don't know if they headed towards the village or elsewhere.
Yes,
So,
there's.
Do you,
I can't place it, but there's something about these I can't figure out.
I say we follow them.
Is there any difference, any way the boots, I'm guessing, are shaped that are different than what would be commonly created, or anything that stands out?
From what I gathered, the footprints change, but it doesn't.
Yeah, you said the
seem to
footprints
change.
were. You said the footprints seemed heavier on the way out, correct?
no. But over time,
Well, over time.
it seemed like the footprints were a little heavier. So it seems like they're a little heavier coming out possibly than going in. But there's a set of footprints from like a week ago, and some from like just past few days ago. And the ones from a few days ago are the same footprints, they just seem to have had a heavier impact than the ones from previous week.
Which means whatever we were hoping to find in there isn't there anymore. And I say we track these down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the prints are heavier on the way out, or potentially, then yes, they may not have gotten all, but they've got some, and we should find what it is they got.
If they didn't take it to the nearest Jarl, which is ours, they either took it to a different Jarl or they kept it for themselves. And either way, that cannot be tolerated.
Actually, how many Jarls? So each of these main towns has a Jarl? Or?
No. The main town is the Jarl. All the other homesteads are under the Jarl of the main town. They are basically kind of like if you were to think of like minor lords versus a king. So
Yeah, I think that's why we're getting confused, because
Yeah.
Jarl is just an earl. They're not the highest, so that's why I was confused.
Right. But in this island, he is the highest.
Hey.
You know that he is under others elsewhere.
So if if whatever item was taken, or items, if they were not given to our Jarl, then it was someone not from our island, most likely, or someone who didn't want the items found.
So you follow the footprints. With Bjork's tracking capabilities, you're able to trace them. You head back the way you came. You notice they veer off slightly differently. They meet back up with the road that you guys took. And at that point, they're lost.
The tracks are gone.
Main road is a lot more packed, so it's a lot harder to track on it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be able to. I mean, I rolled a 19, so I wouldn't be able to get any higher than I did.
Actually, you can. I will cast Bless, but I will also be doing invoking, detect magic again.
Okay. Currently, there's no magic. You did bless on Bjork?
Yeah, I think I can do 3 people or 4. I can't remember right now.
Keep in mind, this is more of a harder packed surface.
Yes.
So the DC is fairly high because it's old. It's not a terrain that is suitable for tracking on.
Does anyone else have survival? Do you need to have survival trained to assist?
Yes.
Does anyone else have that? While we're
Yeah. You know where to search. Shit. I thought it was the other one. Never mind.
okay. Does the mute have it trained or not? Probably not.
Well, yes. Yes, I do. I have a +3 in survival.
Cool. Then I will give them the blessing of Odin and to get a better idea if they can find it. Help.
Okay. So if Bjork wants to roll an investigation at advantage with bless, he can do so.
Ooh, I'm actually really good at investigation. So, and is Bless a D4 or D6?
D4.
Is the mute also rolling, or is it different?
No, the mute gave advantage to Bjork by assisting him.
Okay.
Oh man, my investigation is +5. I'm good at that. Too.
Survival, not investigation. Survival.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
If it was survival, then I would have assisted. You.
What's your survival?
Well, your survival's better, isn't it?
Nope.
Oh,
My
really?
investigation is the only thing that I get is that I'm not hindered by difficult terrain when it comes to tracking, and that I can tell the exact time. But we already know that it's within the last few days, so this would be a better role for Wicked to do.
That's fine. Then you can assist Mute, and
Yeah, I'll
Mute
assist
can make the
Wicked.
roll at advantage.
But the D12 wicked.
Oh yeah, that is a D12. Wicked knew that he was testing us. Mute's that kind of guy.
True. True.
I only need a 12.
And then you get to roll that again if you want, because I'm assisting you. Wicked.
Right, 13, and then on the D4 was a 2.
And then you get to add 3.
Then I had 3, so 16 plus 2, 18.
You can tell there was footprints here, but they start getting lost in the traffic of other footprints. And on the hard surface, there's not a whole lot of footprint to go with. You see these ones, the newest ones that you were following, head back towards the main town, back to Harkon's, the Jarl's town. But you're not able to really follow them.
Then I think we should just head back into the catacombs.
I'm game.
You do know, between the two of you, Bjork and Mew, that if someone was carrying heavy load, like they'd looted tons, they'd either need something to aid in carrying it, which would leave bigger marks, or they would have to have a pack, which would make their footprints more impactful, that you would be able to see them more. So if they did take things, it's not a lot that they took.
Where the path diverts, can we go back to that location?
And the path diverts, meaning you guys went further along the road than this person did, which is why it took you a bit to meet. So you both took the main road. They just broke off at a different point than you broke off. Almost like they didn't know the location of it as well as you did. Any other questions?
One that I think I would know with my tracking ability. Was it a man's footprint or a woman's footprint?
Either a small man or a woman.
My eyes go directly to Vargar.
What?
Either a small man or a woman went into the tomb and came back with goods. And most of the women in the town are either spoken for or sought after by other men. There's only one woman in the town that nobody gives a crap about, as long as she leaves them alone.
You don't think?
Who else would go into a tomb that is cursed by Loki and come out alive?
And that
handmaidens?
is precisely where we'll pick up next week.
Dang!
Bum, bum, bum.
Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed. Next week is Mech Warrior, because these fine gentlemen can only do every other week. So, to pick up on this, be sure to tune in on the 16th and see what exactly transpires for these fine folks. I'll be here on Thursday with the sci-fi game I do, but until then, we'll see you all next time, and enjoy the story.